So today, Jacob, I want to talk to you about something. It's a movie that I've been very excited to see because it looked really good. But I have since learned that it apparently has a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 53 on Metacritic, which is unfortunate.
I thought you were going to say you were excited to see Dune 2 at first.
No, I am actually excited to see Dune 2. I haven't seen Dune 1 yet, though. I've only seen the original Dune by David Lynch. But I'll say this. I'm not going to say the name of this movie because I don't think I'm allowed to. So you might have heard of this. You might know what it's called. The American Society of Magical, the Spanish word for black. You follow me there?
Yeah.
Okay. It looked so funny in the ads I was seeing of it. It's like a satirical film about... It plays on a trope that's in a lot of like American cinema that's called the magical black person, magical African American. And it's a trope where basically like it's kind of akin to having like the gay best friend in a rom-com. It's like the African American has like special powers that like help the other characters and stuff, and they're usually like a pretty stock like generic character, and it kind of made a whole movie kind of playing on that. And
I've never heard of this, but okay, continue. I'm intrigued. At least.
You can look it up on Wikipedia. There's an article about it. But I wanted to see this movie so bad. It's about an underground society of African Americans who are magicians. Well, like magicians in like the Harry Potter sense. So I guess wizards. But they like have to balance the world by how happy they keep the white people. Not in like an oppressive way, but in like a Illuminati in the background kind of way. And so like they're not being forced to help white people. It's like they've been the ones pulling the strings the whole time. Mm-hmm. And so I thought it was going to be really funny. And then before I got on here with you, I was outside. I was reading on my phone the reviews, and the worst one I found was from Robert Daniels of RogerEbert.com. Gave it 1 out of 4 stars and says it lacks form, edge, politics, coherency, and the grand vision necessary for vast world building. It's a film that begins on volatile ground only to tumble down a tonally rocky hill before setting on a conclusion that is so emotionally dissonant that its clang rings louder than the minor laughs the film engenders during its bloated runtime.
Dang. The fuck?
Yeah, I thought that was wild. Yeah. So I just wanted to open up with that because I think that sucks. I was excited to see that. I heard it got like a good reception at Sundance, but it apparently has not gotten good reception from other people.
Okay, wait. So, you know what's interesting to me? Because I've been doing stuff in like the short film kind of thing, trying to make smaller short films for YouTube, whatever. So I've looked into it. And there are like a few YouTubers that do like their own personal short film contests where they have their viewers submit stuff. Yeah. I feel like it'd be cool to enter one of those. But did you know that it is pretty normal for like a short film festival to be like, yeah, if your short film has ever been entered anywhere other than here, you can't submit it. And
I've heard that, yeah.
Once you submit it here, you can't submit it somewhere else or something.
In fact, if I'm not crazy, I think, not necessarily recently, but I think I remember reading about like a film that might have been at Sundance. It might have been at one of the ones they have in Texas, the big ones in Texas.
South by Southwest?
Yeah. Is that a concert? I thought that was also a film thing, but
it's multiple things. South by Southwest is like a few weekends of random shit.
I gotcha. But I remember reading one that like came out and was like won everything and everybody was in love with it, but then it turns out it had like lost a couple years ago to like a different festival, and they were like, well, we're rescinding all of your victories.
I'm pretty sure there was like 2 people, like 2 brothers that filmed a short film that put it at South by Southwest, that it then got like sold and they became like millionaires from it.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
And then they started their own company of making films like that. But I'm pretty sure that the film that they made took them like a day. That's all it took. Like it wasn't
I could
so
believe
obscene. That. Like I spent like months planning it out. It wasn't anything like that. I'm pretty sure they just were like, we got a camera, we went out and we filmed it, and I think the budget was like under $200 or something because they
That's fair.
used like a shitty camcorder because I think it was all found footage stuff planned out, and they
Well,
had
I
like a
gotcha.
friend's cabin or something like that. So I thought that was really cool.
Speaking of movies, I couldn't sleep last night, and I watched the movie Nope. Have you seen that
Um,
with Jordan Peele? By Jordan Peele, I mean.
no, I watched Get Out the other night.
Yeah, that's fair. That's the one you were talking about. Yeah, no, I watched Nope. It's extremely good. It's a really, really good sci-fi movie. I wouldn't call it a horror. A lot of people seem to have gotten spooked by it, but it's more of just a pure sci-fi.
Yeah.
I will say it reminded me a lot. Well, okay, it didn't remind me a lot, but it brought memories to me of a really weird horror film I watched that I have no memory of. And if I can remember it or find it, I'll mention it. But it didn't remind me of it in the sense that it was anything similar. It was just like, for some reason, that other film kept popping in my head, but I don't remember what it was called.
I I saw that Critical Role made their own tabletop RPG.
Yeah, I
Did
saw that, and so did uh Adventure is Nigh.
I don't know who that is.
Did you ever watch are you familiar with the former website called The Escapist?
Isn't
It
that a
was like
video
a
game?
games review. Well, it was that's The Escapists plural. This is a video game like website that was like reviewed content and stuff.
No. As
Oh,
much like I've been on like old forums when I was younger and stuff, but I never went on like game review forums other than like Game Facts or something.
yeah, I got you. But no, the Adventure is Nigh is made by a bunch of people from The Escapist. When The Escapist closed down, they started a new thing, and they just they teamed up with, I think, the same people, maybe the same people that teamed up with Critical Role to make what's it called? Like a almost a card based tabletop game. But it doesn't necessarily look great, but I think it's cool. But it's got one of the members of it. I know you might not know him, but if anybody out there does, is Benjamin Crenshaw. Formerly, his name was Yahtzee Crenshaw, and he did a
Yahtzee.
series called Zero Punctuation for a long time. And that's what I'm like. And he still does it, but he calls it fully ramblomatic now.
Well,
I guess the Escapist owned Zero Punctuation.
I thought the Critical Role tabletop RPG was interesting because I didn't like I sort of like fans through it because I want to look at it more later. Apparently, this is like the beta rules. Like they're going to have another rule book come out or something after they settle on the details. But you get two dice in there. It's like D12s, right? One of them is a fear dice, and one of them is like a hope dice. And so, on either one of them, you can actually pass the check. If you pass with like a hope, if you use hope to pass, like say you're winning a battle or you're fighting someone, if you use hope and you pass, you get a hope point. But even if you don't pass the check, you get a hope point. If you use
Gotcha.
fear, or in the sense, the other thing that goes with it is good stuff happens with that dice. Even if you like fail a little bit, good stuff kind of happens. I think I don't understand the full rules, but I know with the fail dice, you get like fear tokens, but it might make the check easier to pass because you're doing it because you're like backed into a corner. I guess I don't know. I need to listen to it again for
I
more.
promise I'm trying to follow, but I'm
I
getting
know.
incredibly confused.
I know. I'm not doing the best explanation. I need to watch it again to explain it better. But if anyone wants to check that out, you should. They release a YouTube video on it. It's like 14 minutes explaining the rules. But not only that, a game that me and you both enjoy, RimWorld is getting a new expansion. Did you hear about that?
Yeah. It's the first one that isn't spelling the word RimWorld.
Really?
Because the first three went RIM, and I think that
Oh
that's
yeah.
what a lot of people thought they were gonna do with it is spell RimWorld, but
Wait, what was the M?
mechanic. I need to find the. I'm trying to find a
That's
list of the
fine.
DLCs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it went royalty, ideology. Oh no, never mind. It was called biotech. For some reason, I thought it was called like mechanit or something like that. Never mind. I'm
I
wrong.
didn't realize there was a third one even out.
Yeah, it. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of doesn't do much that mods didn't already do. So if you were
Oh yeah.
big on any of the like biotech mods, they basically did that. But
I like
that being
that
said,
though.
it does
That's
add
good.
some. It adds some cool stuff. Like you can genetically modify your colonists now. Like you can
Yeah.
turn them into like superhumans and like weird like pseudo aliens and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah, I do know those. Well, this mod pack is going. Apparently, it has more themed inspirations from like the Cabin in the Woods and the Cthulhu mythos, the Thing and
Oh, that's
Hellraiser.
cool. I love Cabin in the Woods. I was sad they never did anything else with that.
I have an article pulled up, but apparently they have IEDs that resurrect the dead. So apparently, it's just a grenade or like a landmine that if someone dies on it, they get or like if someone sets it off, people around it get resurrected, which I think would be really funny and cool. You just throw like 20 of the dead bodies to people who are raiding you next to it. You just step on it.
I
I got an army.
Yeah, there's so much going on in this. But I will say one of the top. I'm on the Steam page for it. It says fight the cultists who serve the machine mind. So that's all I really need to know.
I did also see that there's someone making a Elden Ring sword.
Just like for fun, or like is it coming
No,
out to buy or something?
it's coming out to buy.
Huh.
I don't know. So apparently it is. It's the what the fuck? It's like a $500 sword, but it's like a replica of it,
Good
like it's
Christ.
full scale,
Yeah.
which I think is really cool. I'm trying to figure out the name of the character's sword. It's Rane's sword, which I believe is like the blue witch girl in the beginning.
I gotcha. Are you familiar with the new discourse around the re-release of Star Wars Battlefront?
I didn't know it had a re-release. I didn't know there was discourse about it.
Well, let me I think at this point it's the lowest. Hold on. Star Wars Battle. Yeah, it's called the Classic Collection. Right now it's sitting at overwhelmingly negative reviews, 19% positive out of 4,300 reviews. Let's see. Yeah, so the point of I guess everybody, the reason everybody's mad is because when they released this, they were going to bring back the public servers, right? Because the classics, like if you buy the originals on Steam, they are, you have to privately host the servers, I think. And also, it included a bunch of like console exclusive stuff that had happened. There were some console characters that didn't ever come to the PC version, and they changed that. But for one, it's over 50 gigabytes, and it is not remastered. By the way, it's
Why?
not like like it is remastered, but not in like the way that you would think. And it's so to compare, if you got the first two games just on Steam and you downloaded them, it's about 7 gigs.
Yeah.
And this, with slightly upscaled graphics and like 4 extra maps, is over 50 gigs. But then the second thing is that there are 3 servers that host a total of 192 people. That's all they put out for their public servers.
Then why even re-release it?
Exactly. That's the point. That's what everybody's like. Literally, I'm looking at the reviews. Well, not every, but every other review has that little "product has been refunded" sticker at the top of it.
I mean, that makes perfect sense to refund it. It's like, because that's an online only game, isn't it?
No, you can play it. It has what's called conquest mode, where you pick a faction and then you fight against the other faction to try to take all the planets.
Okay.
And that is fun, but yeah, apparently also it like controls like shit too. But I mean, I could have told you that because the first one kind of the originals control like shit anyway.
Did you ever play RuneScape as a kid, or when you were younger?
I did religiously. I had the premium for a long time.
Okay, because I didn't play it, but I had heard about
Okay.
it. Right? But the guy who made RuneScape has announced he made a new MMO.
That's cool.
Or he's making it. And I saw pictures of it, and I was like, that actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, I know RuneScape. I mean, it's still getting updated and stuff to this day. And now they went the WoW route where you can play RuneScape Modern or RuneScape Classic.
Yeah, I guess that's cool, but I do think it's funny that like WoW or like Blizzard was like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna run it back. We're gonna make you go through all the DLCs again.
No, that part is fair. I know that Jagex, the people who make RuneScape, they've made some other stuff, but to my knowledge, none of it's ever like succeeded. Man, back in the day, there was like a weird kind of dystopian steampunk cyberpunk kind of MMO that was free that me and my friend Daniel played religiously, and it was one of those like in-depth kind of like RuneScape where like you have a fucking skill for breathing. You know what I mean? I'm joking, of course, but it's like you had like a skill for every single thing that you did.
Yeah.
But
You know,
I can't remember the name of that game.
I just realized something. And it's that. Okay, the other day I sent you that. Maybe it was yesterday. I sent you that picture or article where the Obsidian Studios is making a D&D survival life sim.
Yeah,
I'm really excited for that because that sounds fun in like a
that does sound good.
non-combat kind of way. Well, I'm sure there will be, but I enjoy those types of games. I didn't realize Obsidian made like Outer Worlds and stuff like that. Is what I'm getting to.
Yeah, I loved Outer Worlds. They also made all those South Park RPGs.
They made Pillars of Eternity.
Yeah, they made KOTOR 2. They made Fallout New Vegas. Obsidian makes great RPGs. I've always liked their stuff. They always have a little bit of jank to them, and that's kind of why I've always liked them.
Kind of like Bethesda.
Yeah. Except, man, I have not had a chance to play Starfield, but I had a chance to sit and watch a friend stream it to me on PlayStation. It's so fucking boring. It looks so dull. I was so excited for that when I heard about it, and now I was like, holy shit.
Well, I have two thoughts on this, right? One, Josh also bought it, and he bought it, but he says, I don't know if it's copium on his part, but he says he got it and he would rather have it for the mods that'll come out for it in the future.
I guess that's fair. I just don't really. I mean, it makes sense, but at some point that feels like you're going to get so overloaded because it's like the mods will probably be like creating unique planets and stuff, right? And it's like at some point. So, but still, that sucks because then it's just Bethesda being like, here's some shit. Y'all can fix it.
Well, the other thing was also, I think it's really funny because you can build your own ship, but if you built like a ring ship where it's just like a ring, all of the enemy AIs literally just target the center of your ship. So if you don't have anything in the center, it just wouldn't hit you. But another thing is everyone, like all these Xbox gamers and people were like, it's gonna be so fun. Blah blah blah. You're gonna be able to load into the like you're gonna be able to go into the planet, no loading screens, stuff like that. Like before it came out, and I was always like, that ain't a feasible thing to ask for. Because what they're describing is just Star Citizen, and Star Citizen's been trying to become a thing for
Yeah, I was
years.
gonna say. 12 years, $699 million last time I checked.
Yeah, so it's like everything that Starfield, like people wanted Starfield to be, is basically Star Citizen. That's literally all it is. They were like, we want a game where we can fly around the whole planet and everything's already loaded in and stuff, and it's just Star Citizen. It's just that
I
Star
feel
Citizen
that.
isn't fully complete and it runs like garbage.
The game I was talking about, by the way, the MMO I was thinking of is called Anarchy Online. It came out in 2001. Just as a quick come back to that. It's also made by the people that made Conan Exiles, so which is not a good game, but
Obsidian is also making a game called Avowed, which
yeah, I heard about that. What
looks
did I hear
interesting.
about that?
It
I'll
reminds
tell
me
you.
of like a colorful. The art style reminds me a little bit of like Sea of Thieves, but it's like medieval stuff.
Oh, I gotcha.
Just a little bit. It's not the best descriptor. That's all I got for you. What's that? Is it called? Is it Enshrouded that came out recently? That I think me
Yeah,
and you both were
I saw some
interested in.
gameplay of that. It doesn't look great, but it looks okay. I saw a YouTuber I like did a video on it. It gives me kind of like Valheim vibes, which isn't bad, but it gave me Valheim vibes more than anything else.
There was another game that came out around the same time as Enshrouded, which the games are almost the same exact game, but they just like, differences in like art style, but essentially
Yeah,
it's the same thing. Either of one of them looks good. I think it would be fun to get a group of people to play. I mean, the reviews
that's
of it are
fair.
great. It says it has 9 out of 10 on Steam. 92% people on Google like this game as well.
Imagine that's like the first thing you think of. Not you personally, but like just somebody. It's the first thing you think of. It's like, man, I love this game. Time to go to Google and tell everybody about it.
Oh, I think it was Nightingale. Maybe.
Nightingale?
Yeah, Nightingale.
That's not how
I
you spell
think
Nightingale.
I think that was the game that came out that looks similar to it. It's not, again, it has its own theme and stuff.
And much worse reviews.
Yeah, and much worse reviews.
Yep, this looks like a survival game. But no, I remember we looked at this, I think. Well, we looked at a lot of games. I'm not sure which ones we have.
Me
Which
and
ones
you
we
looked
have
at
this
the
point.
train. You showed
Oh
me a
yeah,
train.
Void Train. Yeah, that
Yeah.
one looks cool.
That's why I
I
brought this
showed
one
you a
up.
train. Just sent you a picture. I was like, hey, check it out.
This one, I remembered this one because of the train. That's why I wanted to bring it up.
That's fair. That's fair.
The train would also be really fun to look at and play. Or not look at, but play with everyone.
Yeah, that one does look cool. I like the concept of that. It would probably set my computer on fire, but I'm okay with that.
What? We already discussed this. Your computer running fine.
It's the heating system or cooling system of my computer. That's the problem.
Get
My
you a
computer
box
overheats.
fan. Just put a box
That's what
fan right on it. Just get like a fish tank and submerge your computer in mineral oil.
Sure, that's what I'll do.
I mean, it'll be fine. You can do it. It'll work all Good.
So I've been playing religiously, and I didn't expect to, but I've been playing religiously Far Cry 6. It's actually quite a lot of fun, as someone who did not care too deeply for Far Cry 4 or 5.
I think Noah bought me a Far Cry game a long time ago.
I've always been a big fan of Far Cry. Far Cry 2, I'm going to say this, Far Cry 2 is my favorite, but it is not the best because it's quite dated now. But
Yeah.
Far Cry 2 is my favorite. If I could get that with the modern engine, I think that would be a really good experience. But no, Far Cry 6 is actually quite a lot of fun, and it's the first one of these, like, ever since 3, when they kind of started the whole, like, open world concept. It's the first one that, like, the world actually feels alive.
Yeah.
And it's also the first one where, like, enemies don't shoot you on sight. You have to, like, have a weapon out and, like, antagonize them and stuff. So it makes going around the world a lot easier. And all in all, I've just been a big fan of it because I didn't think I was gonna like. Far Cry 6 because I hadn't been pretty. How do I say it? I've been pretty down on Far Cry since 4 because I just wasn't that crazy about them. But I've had a lot of fun with this one. I've also been playing revisiting Mountain Blade Warband for like the 27,000th time.
Oh, I have that game.
That game's a shitload of fun. The new one too is also a lot of fun. Mountain Blade Bannerlords.
Yeah, I've played that one as well. That one has multiplayer, which I like.
They both have multiplayer.
What?
The Warband has multiplayer.
Why aren't we playing that together?
Well, because it's not co-op. It's like all their multiplayer stuff is like you fight on a battlefield against each other.
We could do that. That'd be fun.
That's fair. Just two of us on the other sides of the map. Nobody else just sprinting at each other.
Oh, what was that? There's a game that Epic gave away for free. It's a Warhammer game that I really enjoy playing.
There's a lot of Warhammer games.
I know. Give me a second. It's in my library. I just need to pull it up. Just 1 second. It's Total War Warhammer. Do you have that?
Oh yeah. I don't. I did, but that was back when I had the Xbox Game Pass. As I played it that way.
It is very fun. I remember me and Noah loaded it up, and we were just like, we had no concept of what it was gonna be, and we.
Oh, had you never played a Total War game before?
No.
Oh man, Total War is fucking amazing. The first one I had on a disc on like my fucking CRT computer back in the day. It was called Total War Rome, I think is what it was called.
Oh, I guess I have. I've seen someone play that specifically on a laptop.
Yeah, there's a couple of those, but of the early ones that I was a big fan of. They got a little. My favorite one was Empire Total War because you like had like a huge world map instead of just being like limited to a certain like section of the world.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites, but the Napoleon one was good too, but it was not nearly as robust as all the other ones. It was more of a spin-off of Empire, and it didn't play the same, in my opinion.
Do you like Deus Ex? Those games?
As I always say in my southern accent, Deus Ex. Yes, I do. I played all of them. My favorite is Human Revolution, the third one.
I think that's the one I've played.
Invisible War I played a lot as a kid on the Xbox original too. That was a great game. That was the first game that got me into the concept of like, hey, I could just run around and chuck cans at people.
I was thinking about playing Mankind Divided because Epic gave it away for free.
It's very good. It's very short. I highly recommend if you do, you try to not 100% it or anything, but like make sure you follow all the side stuff because I think it's like 15 hours. How long to beat Deus Ex Mankind Divided? The average for the main story is 16 hours, and then the average for the main and side stuff is 31 hours.
Okay, wait. Off topic. Do you like fighting games?
Uh,
Like Mortal Kombat?
yes. Yeah, I'm just terrible at them.
Okay. Me and you
Which
should
people can
both
go
get
check out
Tekken.
over on my YouTube channel with
That's
my
true.
series, The Unforgettable Failures of Fight Boy.
Me and you should both invest in getting the new Tekken game and streaming
Oh,
that
Lord.
until we get good.
No.
Have you seen the ranking system for the Tekken game?
No.
Tekken 8 ranks. So they're separated by like color division, and
Oh, okay.
it's so weird because so there's brown, silver, light blue, green, yellow, orange, red, and then there's ruler, which isn't a color, but then there's blue, and then there's gold, but in parentheses it says purple, so I guess it's gold and purple, and then there's just gold, and then there's no color. But all of them have
Oh, I
different
gotcha.
titles. Like brown is beginner, and then it's like first dawn, second dawn, fighter, strategist, combatant. Skipping through some more of the boring ones, you got like dominator, vanisher, eliminator, all the way down to the highest rank, which is level 100.
It's Tekken
God of
all the way
Destruction.
down.
There's literally like fucking 20. There's like 30 ranks right here. I'm not gonna read them all off,
That's fair.
but
I thought
I think
the
it'd be cool to get.
Sorry, you go on. You go on.
I was just gonna say I think it'd be cool to get for us to stream us just getting good at Tekken, and you could put it on your channel too for the like amazing trials and tribulations of Fight Boy Advance.
I really I tell you, my favorite fighting game I really want to get, not get, but want to see is a new BlazBlue. Because that game, man, that's my favorite fighting game. I used to actually do competitions, like local, like shitty ones at game stores and stuff. But I used to do competitions with that. I loved that game so much. I played Carl. He has a marionette that like you use, kind of like that guy from Naruto.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say that guy. There's like 4 people that do that in the show, but the main one, the one with the cat ears.
I'm telling you though, if we got Tekken and we started fighting on that game, I would stand on business. I would not lose. I have to win. I'm not a big fighter game enjoyer. Like I enjoy like the anime ones where it's like the 3D map where you can run all around it.
Yeah, like the Naruto stuff.
Yeah, I enjoy those. Games like Mortal Kombat and this, I'm pretty bad at, so it would take a very sharp learning curve. Now, another thing, this is always really funny to me, because I have a friend named Trey. He's in our friend group. Mm-hmm. He is known to be able to pick up any game, and he is immediately amazing at it. We don't know what it is. First time he got drunk was at my birthday party. I got him drunk. And it was my 21st birthday party. Instead of me getting drunk, I got my friend drunk because I thought it was funnier. He's just laying there, way to look at it. Wasted, listing off the stats for every Fire Emblem character, just off the top of his mind.
You've told that story before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he does that, but so if we're all playing like Smash Brothers Ultimate or whatever, or any Smash game. He is always
Smash Mouth.
He is always way better than anyone. It is insane. But the second he picks up a game like Mortal Kombat or anything like an anime fighter, he is not good at them at all. He just doesn't understand them, and it's so funny. He's like a fish out of water. It's so great.
Right now, game-wise, I'm trying to save up to get Persona 3 Reload because I need it. Persona 3 is, if not number 1, in my top 3 of all-time favorite games. And so I would love. In fact, I have Persona 3 FES edition on the PS2, and I have Persona 3 Portable on my PS4.
I have not played a Persona game.
I don't think you'd care too deeply for them, but I also there are several times where we've had conversations and I've been like, this isn't something up Jacob's alley, and then you'll be like, oh yeah, I played that, I liked it, and it's like, oh, but
what game would you compare it to?
Imagine, imagine, it's so unique. So here's the structure of Persona. You, without any kind of story or anything, this is just like how the game goes.
Yeah.
You start, you name your character, you do dungeon crawling, and as you dungeon crawl, it's turn-based combat. And as you dungeon crawl, you can capture the monsters that you're fighting, right? Or you can ally with them, or they might give you items or something like that, or you can capture them. When you're done dungeon crawling, you go to a place called the Velvet Room with Igor, one of the best fucking characters in a video game. And Igor lays out like all these things you can do with them. So you can like fuse your personas together to create new personas. You can, in the other one, in 5, it's dark, because in 5, instead of fusing them, you execute them, and their souls combine into a new soul. And then there's all that. And then you have weapons that you equip, and what your persona you have equipped is basically your abilities. So you have like one basic weapon that you'll always be using, but then you have abilities depending on which persona it is. So you might have a fire spell, ice spell, healing spell.
Is the persona like the mask that he's wearing?
In a sense, yeah. The concept is like it's what the personas are like the truth of your heart. So the second half of the game, and I don't mean half as in literal half, it goes back and forth the whole time. Second half of the game is a completely free roam thing. You can run around the city that you're in, and you can like buy items or go to the arcade machine and play those, or you can go to like batting cages or the movies and stuff like that. And then the third part is you go to school. That's the big crux of it, is you're in school. So you actually have to like pay attention in the classes, because then you get stat boosts when you are asked for the answer. If you know it, you'll get a stat boost. And then at the end of each like semester, you take every couple of weeks you take a quiz. And at the end of the semester, you take an exam that covers all the stuff you previously covered. So when you go to take the test, you'll get better stat boosts and stuff, and people will like you more depending on how well you do. And then the fourth element of it is there's a dating sim element. So you earn hearts with all the people. Yeah, you earn hearts with your classmates, and it's funny because in Persona 4, they started a thing where it didn't matter. You could date everybody at the same time and get them all up to 10 hearts, right?
Yeah.
But Persona 3 was the funniest, because if you got anybody else past a certain number of hearts while you had hearts with another person, they would come to your house and be like, hey, what the fuck, man? Like, they would come together, and then you would get black hearts with them until you could earn them back, basically. It was really funny, but they don't do that in the newer ones anymore.
Interesting.
But yeah,
I've seen an anime of it. That's the only sort of idea I have of it, and it was a shitty anime. Well, I don't know which anime it was, so, but because they've done anime adaptations of all of them. The cool thing is they're all disconnected, right? Other than like the concept of the Velvet Room and all that. And it's all a spin-off, right? It's a spin-off of a series called Shin Megami Tensei, made by Atlas. It used to be called, the first 2 releases were Shin Megami Tensei Persona, and the Shin Megami Tensei Persona 2, Immortal Sin, and something else. It was 2 games for 2. But 1 and 2 are very, very different than 3 through 5, because they changed everything for 3, and that's when it became like a life sim dungeon crawler. Whereas in the first 2, you're like a detective, and it's much more streamlined, linear. There's not any of the school stuff. There's none of the romance stuff. So it's basically just a traditional JRPG, turn-based JRPG. I feel like I would like it based on the gameplay.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. They do. What sucks is, not for any real reason, just because it would be funny, is that they do censor the personas, because it's heavily based off what would you call it, or at least the first few in the Megami Tensei series are heavily based on Christian mythology and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's one persona you can get. I think it's called Lilith, and it's just like it's like a vagina, like it's just a vagina. And there's one too that's literally. Hold on, I want to see if I can link you to this one because hold on, Shin Megami Tensei.
God
Just
damn.
by typing.
Fucking
Yeah, it's called Mara.
Steam games got to be $70 now. What the fuck?
Here, just this is Mara. Can you tell me what that looks like, Jacob? That is a cock and balls. Don't worry, I got it for you. It's a cock and balls. But yeah, they're in like all of these games, but they are censored in the West releases.
I mean, that makes sense. This is obviously a game. Is it made in like Japan at all?
Yeah, it's made by Atlas. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have no concept of who Atlas is, but
I'm sure you've played an Atlas game.
But I would like to say, it makes sense because all the Yu-Gi-Oh cards come with like not weird stuff, but like they're made in Japan, and then when it comes over to the U.S., like the card artworks, they have to be censored. Like for instance, if a card shows like cleavage, censored. If it has like a cross, it's changed.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think I've played an Atlas game.
Did you ever play any of the Etrian Odyssey games?
Nope.
On the DS? No? That's fair. You maybe haven't. Did you ever play Catherine?
Nope.
Oh, man. You really didn't. Well, then,
I think at one point I was going to play Catherine, but I don't think I ever played it. No, I know I didn't play it, but I don't know why I didn't. I think I watched a video of it, and I was like, yeah, nah, never mind.
Did you ever play Snowboard Kids?
I don't know what no.
on the Nintendo 64, it was just a snowboarding racing game, but yeah, they worked on that.
Etrian Odyssey? I know you just
Etrian
said
Odyssey
it.
is a really cool. It's a really cool JRPG for the. I think it started on the DS and then the 3DS. It's really good. I've been a fan
Steam
of that
too?
series. Oh yeah, they also do the Trauma Center games.
I don't know. Okay.
That's also a DS game where you're a surgeon. You got to use the thing to.
So,
like,
what part of what is the reload of Persona 3 Reload?
It's a complete remake, ground up remake. I'll show you a graphical comparison.
Okay, because I know all the Persona games. Like I've seen Persona 5. I've also heard or seen people stream it. Everything I hear about Persona is good. That's why I kind of want to play it. But
yeah,
I've never whenever I see something about Persona, it's always Persona 5 blah 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 or Persona 4 blah blah blah. It's never just Persona whatever. There's always some variation of it, and I don't understand the differences of them.
So yeah, that's how they've always done it. Starting with Persona 3, they released Persona 3 and then Persona 3 FES, and basically it always is just a continuation of the story, and sometimes they add some new characters and stuff. They also add a lot of quality of life things in those, because there's Persona 3, then Persona 3 FES, then there's Persona 4 Golden, and then there's Persona 5 Royal. They also do a lot of spin-offs. So, but yeah, I sent you some pictures of the differences between the two games, and you can see it got a lot more polished, and there's actually a lighting engine, but it's an entirely different engine, entirely new graphics. So that's why I've been excited for it.
I think the Persona anime that I watched was based off of Persona 4.
Oh, that sucks. Because Persona 4, the anime I thought was always really good, but also I'm just big into the series, so I guess that makes more sense.
I typically don't enjoy animes that's based off of games. There are exceptions to that.
But outside of fighting games, I'm actually the opposite, where I usually don't like games based on animes.
I agree with that as well.
Because usually it's like if you look at like the One Piece games or like the Dragon Ball Z games that aren't fighting games, it's like usually it's just telling you the story of the anime and you're just there for it. So it's like, well, why don't I just watch the anime?
Okay, so another thing is that I think is that goes with this, which is weird, is the reason. Yeah, the reason why I don't like anime. It's the story that's made out of games, right? It's because it's literally just the game it's just the game but anime, right? I think that's what you just said.
Yes,
But
exact
this
opposite
is
way around. Yeah.
but I did enjoy the Halo TV series, which everyone unanimously hated
I never
because
even watched it.
it wasn't that, because they essentially from the beginning they were like, this is Halo, but this is Halo if this happened. Like, it's different from the games. I enjoy that because it's a different scenario. It's not just like if I wanted to hear the story of Halo again, I would just go play the games again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where I sit on that. If I wanted just the story, I would play the game.
I feel that. Yeah, I can agree with that. I I'm a big fan of JRPGs, but it is very hard for a JRPG to hook me. I'd say of the ones I've played like this year so far, the only one that I've really gotten into, and I haven't played that many, I'll be fair, but the only one that's really hooked me is Tales of Arise. I was really big into the new Tales game. But beyond that, it's like I have to have a lot of different elements to like an anime game. I'm not a huge traditional JRPG fan. Like, I'm not a big fan of any of like the Final Fantasies. I'm not a big fan of like any of like, I guess you won't know of this series, but any of like the Trails series. There's like 11 of those. The Art and Alico series. There's a bunch of like really long running JRPG series I just can't get my belly in. Get in my belly.
You know what would be fun? Off topic, but would be fun.
Because they're so great at staying on topic.
No. I don't know why I thought of this. I want to use Divinity 2 because they have like a Game Master mode, and I want to run you through a game. I want it to be a video for your channel where I make, like on my channel, it's me making the map and stuff of what you're going to play, and on your channel, it's you playing it.
I mean, I would definitely do that. It's going to take some time. I've tried messing around with that. It's it is in depth, which I guess is very good. But if you're like me and dumb, it can be pretty difficult.
Yeah, I think that would be fun. Off topic again, just jumping from piece to piece. Would you want to stream after this, or are you going to be
potentially? Busy? Potentially, I'll have to see what I'm up to. I'll have to talk to my better half and see what she's doing and all.
Okay.
And
because I was going to say, For the King has sounded mighty fine right now.
For the King was fun. For anybody out there who hasn't heard of it, I highly recommend it. And you should, if you want to see it, we stream it on Jacob's Twitch. But
Twitter. Theoretically,
Twitter,
we could, but I don't know if
we want to. That would be a nightmare. Yeah, check us out on TikTok. That's where we're going to be next. No, but
3 days the new Stardew Valley update comes out too.
Yeah, but it sucks because it only comes out for the PC first, and then it's going to come out later for the consoles. And I only say that because me and Mallory play co-op on her console because she's never finished the game, and she's gotten really into it now. So I was hoping that we were going to get that DLC together, but it's going to be I think like a month or two before it comes out on consoles.
That's fine. You'll be able to play it with me.
That's fair.
You're gonna stream it with me. Or we could just record it. I don't really care.
That's also fair. I don't. I bet the listeners love when we just spend the last 10 minutes of every podcast just planning out the future.
This is the segment where we tell you our future uploads.
This is the segment where I tell you my future. Harrowing.
Okay, you know what's really... Not to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
Okay. I saw a clip of the CEO of Twitch. He was okay. So this new CEO of Twitch, I've explained it before, but he streams himself now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he's doing all this stuff. Like he's streaming. He's streaming with other content creators, not just on his lonesome. But it's really cool because there was a clip that came out earlier this week where he's sitting in VR chat at a table with one of the VR chat streamers explaining the behind the scenes of how Twitch works, but he's like an anime character.
Oh, God.
It's so funny.
Oh, man. I need to show you a song after we're done with... Well, just a line. And so I guess I don't even need to show you the... I don't even need to show you the song, but for anybody curious, it's by a comedy rap group called the Northern Boys. It's a bunch of geriatric old dudes. I think I sent you a clip of them once, but they have a song called Robot Man, and the one of the I'm trying to find it. Yeah, hold on. One of the verses, Norman Payne says, "Beam me up, Mr. Elon Musk. Adopt me as one of your robot sons. I promise that I'll try my best. You can feed me scraps and you can wipe my bum."
What the fuck? I would like to fix what I just said. He was not an anime character. He was Gandalf. That was just an anime character
better.
that shows up beside him.
That's something.
Much more fitting.
John Carpenter's been releasing new music now, and it's wild.
For a second, I didn't know who you were talking about.
The director.
Yeah.
He did the thing. Yeah. I mean, he did a bunch of other stuff, but he did the thing. That's like my big thing.
This is really funny to me, but we both keep up with our own podcasts. But I was watching The Yard yesterday, and they were talking about how they were on the way back from Mario Kart tournament, and their Google search was "How did Jesus die the second time?" Which I thought was so funny because I was like, wait a second, how did he die the second time? If you want the answer, they say he rose to heaven.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Is like that canonically he just like disappeared.
But wouldn't you say that rising to heaven is also just dying?
Yeah. But I guess it's not you can't really you can't go into the coroner's office and do an autopsy of rose to heaven.
I saw someone explaining, it was some like Reddit image of someone explaining how Jesus was a lich. And people were like, Jesus couldn't be a lich because that means that, he had to sacrifice people. But then they were like, wasn't there two other people with him on the crosses? I was like, oh, he's a lich.
Good God. No, I feel that, though.
It's great.
God. All right. Well, this seems like a good time to end it and also introduce it because we never did that either.
Oh, fuck.
So I have been Zach. You can find me on YouTube at Pixelated Trash. And that has been Jacob. You can find him on YouTube at NazirTL, on Twitter at NazirTL, on Twitch at NazirTL. And you can find the podcast on Spotify, the Fluffy Biscuits podcast. You can find it on YouTube at Fluffy Biscuits, and you can find it on Twitter. There we go, at Fluffy Biscuits. There's an extra F.
And Twitch.
Oh yeah, and Twitch. But yeah, that's fair. So we got that going. So thank you all so much for watching or for listening, and we will see you next time.